Okay. If you don't know the whole story behind the original Sleeping Beauty, here's a quick rundown. A girl by the name Princess Aurora is born, and an all-powerful witch wasn't invited to the celebration. So, as revenge on the royal family, she curses Aurora, wherein by the end of the day, on her 16th birthday, she will prick her finger on a spindle and die. When that day came, one of Aurora's fairy godmothers enchanted her to sleep, to prevent death, so that one day a prince will come and with true love's kiss she will awaken from her slumber. 100 years later, a prince finds Aurora in her deep sleep and quickly falls in love with her. He gives her a kiss and Aurora wakes up. In the end, her and her prince live happily ever after. And that is the fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty. This movie is not the same Sleeping Beauty. Julia Leigh gives us an unsettling take on the classic tale of Sleeping Beauty. The beauty is Lucy, played by Emily Browning, who is most known for her starring role in Sucker Punch. Lucy works odd jobs to pay for her cost of living and school. Her most recent job is a niche job in the sex industry, where she is drugged and placed in a Sleeping Beauty chamber, where she becomes the plaything of paying customers. Almost anything is allowable, with the exception of penetration among other things. As time passes, Lucy begins to wonder what happens to her while she is asleep, and a shocking twist ending brings her painful memories of an event she had to live through. Julia Leigh's Sleeping Beauty is named after the fairy tale film of the same name, but with a dark tone and very loosely based. Now, the movie didn't give me an impression of the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale other than the deep trance sleep. However, in the fairy tale, there is no explanation as to what happened to Princess Aurora during her 100 years asleep. Now, back to Julia Leigh's version of Sleeping Beauty. The odd job that Lucy picks up, that's a key point of this story, or a key focal point of this story, seems to be something out of a Stanley Kubrick film. Now, if you've seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut, you know what I'm talking about. Now, the flow of the story was bumpy at times, and you feel like the only story that you really want to know or care about is her odd job. Everything else seems to be like filler or even pointless. They show you, of course, that she's working as a waitress, as a photocopy girl in an office, being used for scientific experimental testing, and even prostitution that she is partaking in. But after seeing it once or twice, it seems to be enough for the audience to understand that she desperately needs the money for her living costs and for her education. But when you show it over and over again throughout the film, without really any development towards the main story from those jobs, it becomes almost pointless or just filler. Now, there's also no explanation as to why the Sleeping Beauty chamber exists. And why the gentlemen partake in it is even more bizarre. Now, of course, early in the film, when you first meet the gentlemen that pay to use the Sleeping Beauty chamber, you kind of get the sense that they're not the normal people that you would meet. But again, there's no purpose. Even when Lucy decides to try to find out what's going on and why this whole chamber exists, there's no explanation, not even at the end. It doesn't seem to be a real definite kind of activity, because there's no active partner, there's many restrictions such as no penetration, and it makes you wonder what the point of this chamber is. Now, the ending is also something that seems to be from left field, because if you miss the key point in a story that doesn't involve her job, you'll miss the meaning of the ending. Now, I will admit, I missed that key point, and it wasn't until a fellow film watcher explained it to me that I finally understood what was really going on at the end. The end just stops abruptly with that final act, and you're left wondering what's going on. And the fact that they still don't explain why there is a Sleeping Beauty chamber really, really leaves you with more questions than answers. In the end, I give this movie a grade of a C because it had an interesting concept, but the motivations were lost and things didn't seem to totally connect. Well, that's movie number 2 in my reviews of films that I saw at the film festival here in Chicago. We've got quite a few more to go, and let's see what else we can find up here. Other than that, class dismissed.